It did not take long to determine that Mark and I had little in common, so I spent less time with him. He came back 4 months later, but they spent very little time at the Kurat house. A couple of weeks later, I saw other people living at the house. I asked my wife to go say hello and ask about Mark and his wife. Seems Mark's wife liked to gamble and had lost the house in a card game. She had gone back to Pattaya to look for another guy. I never saw Mark again. Very, very short story there, and a very common story. House in the girlfriend's name, and lost his savings, unfortunately. Okay, straight into our second story. This story happened in the Don Muang area of Bangkok and outside of the bar scene, which is a bit away from the usual setting of your stories. Just to know, I had already completed my Pattaya apprenticeship, so I knew which red flags to look for. Where I live is a relatively quiet area. 2 minutes away from me, construction began on a new shopping mall, which was great because previous to this, we only had the usual 7-Eleven, Family Mart and a small, poorly stocked Tesco Lotus Express. The new shopping mall opened in early 2014, and I went to the supermarket there for my shopping, and of course I was checking out the new female arrivals to my area. There was one cashier in particular called May that I thought was very pretty, and she was very friendly with the customers. Going in and out of there often, I got on speaking terms with her. One day she was going around with the manager collecting money for charity. She was wearing a Santa hat, which I thought was funny because this was mid-year. I gave them a small amount of Thai baht and talked to her for a few minutes. The manager took our picture together with me handing over the donation to her. Following this, the ice was really broken. She would call me over every time I came in and we would have a small chat, all in Thai, because she had zero knowledge of the English language, beyond saying hello, and there were a few times she'd be coming back from lunch and see me waiting in a long queue. She'd quietly say the cash register number she was about to reopen, and I'd make my way there. I had given her my contact details, but she never got in touch, and I never brought it up when talking to her again. I just assumed she's a pretty young girl. She's obviously not single, but she's nice to talk to. After a few weeks, she told me she was moving stores for a few months, but would be back. Her new store was going to be an hour away. Fast forward to December, 2 days before I was due to travel home for the Christmas holidays, I got a notification online that someone had added me as a friend. I didn't recognise a long Thai name, but when I zoomed in on the photo, I realised it was May. I accepted and we got talking. She told me she was coming back to the supermarket on 1st of January and told me more about herself. Her life was a standard Thai story of a single mother, divorced with 2 young children, sons, and she lived with her mother. I questioned why she didn't contact me earlier, and she said she lost my details the day I gave them to her, but found them again just recently, and that's how she was able to contact me now. Strange, because we had spoken countless times in person following the day I gave her the contact details. She told me she had a day off that day, and I told her I was getting ready to travel home, but would like it if we could maybe meet up before that. There were a lot of excuses given, but it all centred around her being a single mother, picking up the children from school, cooking dinner, and she also said that she couldn't text me in the evenings or at night because her sons use her mobile phone for YouTube and to play games. Basically all the red flags. I knew this all didn't sound right. I guessed in reality that it's probably when someone comes home from work that she can't text me, but let's see how this goes. So I went home for a couple of weeks and we spoke nearly every day. One day she sent me a screenshot of a Facebook post showing a gold necklace for sale, and I thought, here we go. She said her birthday was coming up soon and she would like it if someone would buy her this as a gift for her because she never receives anything. Under the Facebook post it said you friend's name and X amount of people like this post. I decided to try and find out her Facebook through the friend's profile, which was actually very easy. She had liked the very first post on the friend's profile. I went on to her profile and the first thing I see is a cover photo of her, a Thai man and 2 young boys. Next thing, relationship status, married to a Thai man. I debated for a few minutes whether I would confront her with this or not, but I decided I would just send her a screenshot of her Facebook page saying I didn't know she was still married and I thought she said they were divorced, and I said sorry if I had misunderstood, just to see what she'd say. She came back lightning fast saying she didn't think I'd seen her Facebook profile, how did I find it, and said they are indeed divorced but just never got around to changing things on Facebook. Okay, let's have a look at her husband's profile. 20 hours ago. Profile picture updated to a photo of just him and her where she commented with love hearts. I showed her that, to which she replied, "Why are you so clever that you can see everything?" In Thai, of course. And told me that he likes to put their photo up to annoy her because he just can't get over the fact that they are finished. I told her I didn't believe any of what she was telling me because she had reacted to the photo and then she immediately blocked me. Even if what she was telling me was true, that would mean he is an obsessed, jealous ex, and we all know what jealous exes are capable of in Thailand from the countless news stories. I came back to Thailand soon after, and a few days later I went to the supermarket. I saw her there, but this time she had a sour look on her face when she saw me and didn't speak. I said okay, whatever, and went on about my business. When I came back through the cash registers, she called me over and said, "Sorry, I'm feeling sick today," but still kept looking downwards. And like she was upset, and a ladyboy cashier behind her was literally shouting in English, she's sick today, oh, she very sick." I said, okay, I believe you. I wasn't bothered. I just said I hope she feels better and left. 1 month later, our paths crossed just as I entered the supermarket and she came out of the staff area. She said hello and her face went bright red and she hurried away. I thought that's a bit strange, and then as I looked at her rushing away, I realised she wasn't wearing the normal uniform, she was wearing a maternity uniform. She was pregnant. My thoughts immediately went to, if she knew this when she contacted me out of the blue in December, was she planning to advance the relationship rapidly and name me as a father, or was the gold chain and probably other gifts a quick cash grab? I went to her checkout, smiled and said, "Have baby." Red-faced again, she looked downwards and said yes. I took it all in good spirit and congratulated her. Following all of this, we obviously never got back to talking online, but we did always when I came to the supermarket, and being honest, she was always nice to talk to despite her behaviour. She just tried to play her hand and lost, but I do often think what would have happened if I had taken her at her word. A year after all of this, she left the supermarket to work at a different place where she said the money was going to be better. To this very day, some of the same staff employees from that time are still working there, and they still seem to think it's their duty to inform me about how she is getting on and joke with me about her whenever I go in as if we were long-time lovers. I just smile and laugh with them. About a year after she left, I realised that while Thailand is a massive country, there is always someone who knows someone no matter where you are. I was seeing a girl for about a month when her niece came to Bangkok from Surin to find work. She found a job in a new mini-mart about 20 minutes from me. After a few weeks, I noticed a familiar face on the photos she uploaded from work. It was someone who used to work with May. I mentioned this in passing that I knew her face, and then the next day the girl I was seeing told me that her niece asked that girl if she knew me. She said not very well, but she knows someone who does. Guess who? Yep, it was May. I don't know why, but they went to her for basically a character reference on me, and luckily she verified that I was a nice person who was always friendly, and she didn't mention anything else, nor did I, but I found it crazy how that girl had come all the way from Surin to Bangkok and ended up finding a little bit of my past. I haven't seen or heard from her directly since she stopped working around here, which is 5 years now, until I wrote this story out of 2 days ago. It must be the law of attraction or something, but I went to the usual shopping mall and saw her walking with her husband. Our eyes met, but she instantly looked the other way and started pointing at something to divert his attention. So there you go, guys. It's just another one of those stories, isn't it? But it backs up what I always say to you. You know, if you go to Thailand on vacation, you're looking for a nice girl, Don't assume she's not playing the games just because she works in a supermarket. You get some guys who'll go out there and they think, okay, all the bar girls and go-go bars, I know if I pick one of these girls up, they're going to be playing games behind my back. But if I pick a girl up in a supermarket, because she's working in a supermarket, she's going to be straight. That isn't always the case, guys. You can't tell. Do your research. That's the only thing you can do.